Alright, hey everybody, welcome to my last match of the season here against nasmith. We've got a village limited board here. Few cantrips that you can stick in for museum, and I guess potentially enough things that potentially enough gaining that you can make some use of sheepdog, though maybe a little tough. I mean, you have one necro, so I guess I don't know if you try to play for 2 bridge plays or just one and like an amulet with some number of archives. And then there's not a whole lot else you'd be super tempted to do, I don't think. I guess you could try like a secret passage amulet. Could maybe try to get a mint that way. Doesn't pan out for me. As long as you had the amulet, you would be fine for minting. This is like obviously not setting up for mint. I go with a bridge. I don't super love that. Haven also does a little work as far as getting a big mint, which you may not need at some point if you have the amulets going. Okay, we don't find that. I mean, we could go for a mint here. So it's just a 3 copper mint, so it's not massive. Could probably just wait to the next one though. Depends a bit on what we draw. This is either going to be pretty nice or a little annoying. Here in a second. Depending on if we have OE in the hand or not. I'm also like kind of wrecking my sort of wrecking my what am I trying to say here? My museum. Maybe should have been. I do probably need a bridge. Apparently, I'm just gonna have a ton of archives. Silvers. There's probably like some limit to like how many of these things we actually want to get. Because this is not real super good reason to getting a stonemason with this. We could do a gold. I mean, the nice thing about the gold is just that it's double. I guess I can. Wait a minute. Yeah, I can triple archive. Got a little confused about what Stonemason does there. What overpay does. Hmm. The sheepdog is interesting. I mean, it can be really nice if you hit it in this kind of situation, but then it can be fairly awkward if you don't have it at a good spot for doing the for doing the gain, which is relatively easy to miss. um This is kind of a terrible opening hand. But if we find archives, then it's not so bad. Yeah, I don't. It'll be hard to win if they get the lab effect on sheepdog. I mean, it may be hard to win, period, but it's going to be tough if they have it in their opening hand repeatedly. They may get to a double here. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to just do the double whenever you want. That's not a super likely outcome for either of us. There's quite a bit of like, or there's at least some potential for some stonemason museum stuff at the end. But I don't know how I'm gonna be as far as I do have a point deficit from the museum stuff. They're still having to draw through the carpet. The beggar surprises me. I'm not even sure. I mean, I guess it can help you spike to double, but even, I mean, I don't know. That seems early to go for that as far as we're at 13, which is not an especially exciting number. I mean, it's fine. Trying to think if I do need to get in a position to double. I mean, this is kind of close to the hand where I would do it, although I don't actually have it here, of course. I'm $1 short. So it would be like get another gold instead of the play the amulet, though that's not super clear to me. I mean, it does give me a little better. It gives me a few different plays. I don't know that's worth it, but when I try it, I don't know that it's right. I mean, there's some problems with drawn stuff. An extended duchy dance is probably in my favor. I think that I have a little easier targets as far as the museum stuff goes. So it probably lets me claw back a little bit in that direction. Whether it lets me do that enough, I don't know. This hand will be a little bit awkward. Maybe if you do something like, I don't know, the beggar was weird to me. So nasmith still does the duchy, of course, the 5-point duchy. So they have a pretty decent museum target still in the 3-point estate. We both have the 3-point estate. I probably could have. There may have been some other options I could have taken given that I was doing the. I had the amulet in hand. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if any of them were really better. There are probably some things I could have thought about doing in the instance where I was thinking about. I don't think I need to play around double. I mean, it's possible. I mean, it's possible with the two archives and the Haven and the beggar. I mean, they could get to double. I don't know how much of that needs to be played around, but okay, this is somewhat interesting, maybe not so good. I mean, I can play for a little bit of a delay here. Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. I guess I can't pick the golden bridge up anyway, so that's not like huge deal. If the estates start flying, I guess we can get to a 3 pile, but we're not really there yet. This is also like maybe some things missing. I mean, you can reorganize a little bit with secret passages and havens, so I don't know that I can like guarantee. I mean, besides the stuff that's in play, there may be some mystery as far as what's left. Okay. Yeah, like I mean, I can continue to delay a little bit, or like go double Dutchy or something while still preserving some of the nice stuff. I can put like, well, some of this is a little awkward, but yeah, it's a it is a little weird. You don't like necessarily want to be afraid of taking province forever, but as long as you're in like range, it's kind of okay too. Gotta think. The worst. Hate it. Hate doing that. It's like I can get the gold and the bridge in the next hand, though it's gonna like trigger reshuffle, which leaves out a fair bit of silver. It's not terrible. I guess this is a given. I don't. It would have helped to know what was left somewhat. Of course, didn't actually have much idea, but I think what I want to do. I think the thing that's missing that's going to be rough for me is the necro, which I guess his necro is missing as well. This is actually a really kind of a really cool board. Do you think, having stepped away, I think I probably was okay to take double duchy province there. I would have taken this silver instead of the amulet, and then been able to do double duchy province, but anyway, because I don't think there was like no shot in a Smith was doubling without the necro. So yeah, I should have. I don't even know with the necro. I don't think that NA Smith was doubling, so I should have taken the province there, and then I'd have been up by 5 points with the 2 provinces left. I think that probably would have been close to good enough. Maybe not, but anyway. So now we have this, which can be I don't know if I take again without the necro, it's actually quite obnoxious. I can probably take a province and it not be too risky. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I should be at. I should have been at the province at this point. Yes, without my necro, I don't have a pile out. There are a few things. Well, this one's coming off regardless. I'm gonna have to province. Oh, what? Sorry, that was stupid. I forgot how archive works. So, I mean, I can get coppers. I'll die if NA Smith just like doubles right off here. It's possible. I don't think double estate duchy is doing me any favors. That's probably losing right away. Now we just have, our decks are just a mess. And it's in a spot where if you, I don't know. I should have already had the province. I basically blew it by not taking a province on that one turn. I mean, if there were two, I guess it's not, I would have, there'd be one more province left at this point. I'd only have 3 more points. So that's not totally clear because like then province curse would win for NA Smith at this point. I mean, I would have had to do something different on this turn, but yeah, it's like province curse would win for NA Smith, and that wouldn't be great. They don't have a trade route yet, so I assume it's going to be a trade route. I don't see a lot of other things. This has got to be this. I assume we just save the sheepdog. There's not really a lot going for it here. I kind of have to do this. My problem now is that I don't have my trade route or my bridge, unfortunately. If I'd found a secret passage, I mean, it would have taken a weird kind of draw to get there. I gotta think about what I can do. I mean, the estates may just lose anyway. Like, they may get a stonemason and a buy. Well, they can't really get a buy. They're a little gain limited. So they're probably at 3 like estate gains, I guess. I don't know. Do I have any museum I haven't done? I don't think so. I think we're maxed out on museum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 17, 34. I think we're maxed out on museum. They don't have a stonemason. They have limited gains. I mean, I gotta find, there's not a lot of paths for me that lead to victory, unfortunately. So that, gotta figure that out. I could probably have to just buy a province. I don't think province estate does a whole lot for me. I mean, it might. It might do a tie. There's a world where it does a tie. It's not like the most likely world, but there's a world. And we can't. We're unfortunately. I think a little bit shy of like, well, what does the stonemason stuff do? We can't province and do that. We can empty the stonemasons for $4. Maybe this when, well, how much do we get? If we get a necropolis here, play bridge and trade route trashing duchy, we'd have $1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $8. Yeah, that doesn't quite work. We can also just bridge plus that requires a duchy trash, so that's not gonna do much for us. I was gonna say province plus. Yeah, this is annoying. This is kind of like if there's like an actual thing to feed in hand, like a not to these 2 green cards, we might actually be able to do something nice. I don't think I'm be 7. The stonemasons would be 1 cost. We can get close on the estates, but that doesn't empty. He's probably really wondering what I'm thinking about. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we don't have. We need $11. We'd only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or no, we can't take them both. This is annoying. Probably this just loses right off, but I mean, there's still a big deck. I just don't know what he's set aside. I mean, he only gets 1 of 2 cards, so he's not looking at a whole bunch of things, but he could still have something squirreled away, something useful. We weren't so far to like from pile out. I'm gonna die if he gets to 8 off that. I'm just gonna actually. If the amulet gains silver, sheepdog drew 8. I mean, I think it doesn't. He usually clicks pretty quick when there's like when it's just done. But I would have actually just died if that had happened. Anyway, this is easy province. I just wouldn't have been able to deal with it. That was really actually quite a kind of a nice little board. I think one of those boards where like Necro really makes it quite a bit more fun to play out without making it just like without having the villages that just makes it a bridge mega turn or whatever. I mean, that's what it would have been. I mean, with villages, it wouldn't have even been bridge. I mean, we would have been playing towards bridge mega turn, but what it would have been just a 3 pile really quickly on stonemason, archive, and bridge, or the village, or whatever little thing. Maybe even havens. So. 5-2 looks pretty good. I guess I'm gonna open plan Magpie. I mean, I don't have to. I could open Silver Magpie and then try and buy Monastery. Try to do that angle more. Upgrade. I don't know. I think what's the druid got? Upgrade Monastery. I think I'd probably do as nasmith. You're not gonna do Trove colonies. I mean, I don't know that you would do Trove anyways, but colonies especially isn't gonna allow for that. Magpie or playing Magpie doesn't. I mean, it's sort of anti-synergistic to some degree as far as you probably do want to get magpies here, and the plan doesn't. Though I guess that's contrasting with what, like a silver. I don't know if you do upgrade or monastery druid. I guess you probably do monastery. The boons didn't look like super good. They're fine, actually fine boons, but the other thing about the plan is like how many times are you gonna click to how many times are you even gonna buy Magpie? It's not gonna be a huge amount. Artisan is not super good here. It's not awful, but not super good. There are like some things you can buy where if you get really lucky it flies, like some monastery stuff. I don't know. The opening is a little bit wonky to me. This is not the draw I really want. Nasmith does not pair upgrade a monastery, so that's nice, but I don't really want another silver. I can just take a monastery. This is gonna draw a thingy. I mean, I can do a monastery or an artisan. It does have pretty nice, yeah, this. Probably just another upgrade. This is like defiled shrine time, right? Where are my magpies? Where? Oh man, that's annoying. That is kind of annoying. Where are they? Well, I know where it is. It's in these 4 cards. What do I think I'm gonna be able to buy more easily? A market or like a grand market with the plan? Do we think we'll even hit either one anytime soon? I think, unfortunately, nasmith is probably... Well, I don't know yet, but probably just going to have too big of an advantage on the thinness. I guess I could put like a secret passage back there. Whoa, sorry. I'm not doing like terrible on the trashing, but I am a little bit behind. It probably... What did I get a market? I probably should have got another upgrade. Seems likely. I have Parrot Artisan Monastery every time, which is pretty nice. Yeah, I wish this was an upgrade pretty badly. I have drawn pretty luckily with the... Yeah, this just should have straight up been an upgrade. I mean, I could get an additional point from a secret passage here if I don't think that there's like a huge advantage to getting a market. But well, I have a points lead. I don't know if that's gonna matter hugely or not, but I do have that at the moment. And nasmith has the big cleanliness lead. Probably will be able to buy, well, either just like straight up a platinum here or a grand market. At some point you're feeding fives into upgrades into grand markets. We'll probably get enough buys that someone can do an estate pile out. Just one of the grand markets or GMs will get pretty low. I did botch, like I just straight up botched this should have been a second upgrade to the market, but I don't know. I guess I mean, I guess whatever 5 you gain, you're probably going to put it into, probably just upgrading it next time. What do they have here? 4 silvers, or is it? I don't know. I wonder if they take platinum. You don't have to buy GMs, I guess. You can just have a few platinums in the markets. Pretty similar. Maybe better even, but not that you would like say no to a GM if the opportunity cost for getting it wasn't too terrible. Yeah. Okay. Nope, this is sad. This is actually just remarkably sad. Problematically sad, even. I don't know. How many coppers did I still have? I had like a ton. Yeah, this is not the draw. Unfortunately, but there's a world where this draw is like clean enough that I think there's still even a couple magpies, or at least one, so there's like some world where we draw basically all of deck. And then it looks a fair bit different. But this way is not doing really much for us, unfortunately. Last card's a copper. Yeah, it's like there's probably a world where we draw everything there, and then we get to try. We wouldn't have to have blown up the monastery, but instead we get to trash a curse and a copper while buying Grand Market still, and we could blow up the monastery the next turn. I think that would have been a pretty nice turn. I don't even know. 1, 2. Hopefully we hit some of these silvers. That's going to make a big difference for whether we're even in any kind of contention here, or if Nasmith has just completely run away. Just this is a lot of nice money. Well, I probably should have thrown it. Yeah, I mean, there's something for throwing it way back rather than what I did. 11. What do we got? I mean, 13 is 13 is okay because it's this. We didn't get to the artisan, unfortunately. I guess the other, unfortunately, we didn't. Yeah, we didn't. The artisan's big. We're not keeping up with gains, so we're not gonna have. It would be real nice to get to the 8 buys in time to like be able to do something with it. And of course, playing the other upgrade. I mean, there are a lot of things that could have happened on that turn that didn't. And we even had a decent draw. It wasn't like, I mean, we got a hit with a blind hit. So it wasn't unlucky for me, but it could have been better, which it often can. Yeah, unfortunately, nasmith may even be in like, well, that's quite a bit of money. I was gonna say like colony, estate, emptying kind of range, but that's a fair bit of money. The real problem is they're just gonna be in like double colony range. Like with this secret passage, I can toss it further back, and then if we find, you know. It wouldn't have, all it would have done is given me less money though on the previous turn, I guess, so that's not really. Because it would have seen, then it would have drawn silver and seen upgrade, I think. No, it would have gotten us to the upgrade. We would have seen, it was still Magpie on next on top in it. Yeah, it would have seen silver, then we would have gotten to the upgrade. That's what would have probably helped us a little bit. I think there was definitely a window where we were still in this one, but I don't think we are anymore. Unless an nasmith does some really weird stuff, even with the 10 points. I think even if we get like max draw here, maybe if we get max draw, we have some kinds of weird threat. I don't know. The thing is, in nasmith can, I don't even know what that does, if that makes the estate stuff possible. Estate, like, they're at 20, so 25, 27, 28, which is like, they can empty the, like, they can gain a market off artisan, and they can empty estates and buy a duchy or whatever easy. I guess they never really need, I mean, I'm gonna if I colony, even though they can probably still win, not sure. I don't really know if this is right to make them draw or just to like auto make them draw. I guess that's not super clear to me. Yeah, this is gonna just, I mean, nasmith just wins the next turn. I can't score enough here. Like, even if I take, I just don't have threat later on either. Like, if I, like, if I take the market, then nasmith can still do like estates, colony, duchy, right? They have like 11 buys or something, 11 or 12 buys, plus the artisan. They would have to fail to draw deck, which is probably possible, but extremely unlikely. Like, they probably have enough stop cards that they could just stop on province, but I don't know what my, I guess if I have to play for that, like I can, like if I go duchy colony, I don't know if they can win right off. Then they probably can't win immediately. But it's a lot of it is all just delaying the inevitable. But even if I get the market, I'm still nowhere near I'm still nowhere near the threat I would need. I think this is probably just losing right away. But I don't think a duchy gain is doing me enough favors to do that. This is like they can gain a more. Well, and they can even upgrade. They may be able to win. Well, there's still big points. I was gonna say maybe they can do secret passage market, score enough. That would cost like 16 plus. Yeah, that's probably not in range. But it's all got to get there, like within a couple turns. Even if they just take a turn where they're buying provinces, or not buying provinces, buying 2 colonies. I'm not gonna get to the gains. I just didn't hit the artisan. Well, I don't even know. Like, there's some worlds where the draws are probably nice enough that I have a couple more markets, and then it does look a little different. But not sufficiently different, I don't think. I think we can assume that if NA Smith lowers, then they'll probably have a win. I think, well, they could probably lower like 1 card pretty safely. I think they can like change things into grand markets, and that's totally safe. I don't think there's a lot going on there. Here they probably just have a win. I did forget about tunnels, actually. Yeah, I mean, I was pretty much checkmated, unless they did. So it just got a little bit there was, I mean, there's definitely shuffles in the middle there where I think I can be in the game where we have to really think about the end game there, because it would have been quite some options, I think, but we didn't get to that point. They were pretty firmly in the driver's seat. So this is don't know. I mean, you're probably gonna play with Bridgels and Seers, I guess, is the thing. Whether you play with it's pretty nice. The two Bridgels pretty much make everything you'd really like to draw in that nice window. You still have the secret passages, and now whether you I guess the question is whether you can skip the familiars, or whether you have, I mean, I think whether you skip them may be a little bit of a dynamic question later on in the game. And maybe the better question is, like, do you skip opening potion versus not? Because Ratcatcher's not going to be super good at trashing 10 curses all by themselves. They're going to be kind of terrible at that. So that is kind of a problem later on. But I don't know that that means you want to open potion. We don't find Ratcatcher. 2 states here is pretty nice to see. But, we don't see the Ratcatcher at all, which is not good. I think I'm gonna go with Bridgeville first. I guess you could go with Den. I don't think that's crazy. Yeah, I'm kind of tempted. Then I would probably take a second Den, though you can go for your Bridge Troll now too. Yeah, so unfortunately my Ratcatcher just hid. Though I did find the silver at least, which is pretty good. Oh, I should have done it to do a just for a shuffle here. Would have made some sense. Oh, wheel. The silver hit there is gonna hurt quite a bit. There are probably some better buys. I could take a little more time on some of these buys. Gold is not. This probably is going to be a seer Den for them. I need to draw one of the durations. Yeah, this is gross. This is super gross. If we find one of them, then it looks a lot better, but this is awful. It's probably losing. I don't love all my buys. I think there's some reordering of some of the buys that can be fixed up a bit, but I mean, not seeing either of the durations there is killer. I mean, the den especially, I think, would have made it all quite a bit different. Because then the secret passage gets a lot more search space. The seer can probably pick up a couple cards. Well, I mean, we have better chance of just finding the seer to pick up a couple cards. I kind of expect this will be a bridge troll, yeah. This is not even enough. This is no good. That was terrible. This is just. I don't know why I played the silver. I should have put the silver on top. Well, there's a bridge troll down, yeah, so I should have just put the silver on top. We didn't have rat catchers waiting or anything like that. Yeah, we didn't hit. Yeah, this is just bad. And then I got flustered and I didn't stop and think, if I'm not gonna buy anything, then put the silver on top. This is gonna be GG, I think. I would take a gold now. You can do seer secret passage too, but gold is possible. I would have thought anyway. I don't know. Oh, it's a bummer. It's a huge bummer. Great. What is the last card? Just another copper. So it doesn't really change anything. We have to at some point buy another bridge troll. If we don't find any of the secret passages or the things, I'll just cry. If we just roll like silver. I mean, I guess draw isn't huge here. I'm not like putting out a whole lot of money either way. I think this is like a pretty easy gold seer, right? I guess you draw silvers during your turn. It's because you don't play the bridge troll till the end. So you never can draw gold off a seer. I was a little confused. I should have taken another silver then on that one turn. Maybe even this last turn. I guess if you want, you can do silver double seer. I mean, if you have like all the seers, I'm not gonna win. Like, I'm just straight up not gonna win if nasmith has like 7 seers. So if you go seer, silver, or whatever, I think I don't know. I mean, you can still dominate with like a handful of seers, but with like 3 or 4, but I know I'll be able to get, I mean, it's not even clear I get to, without, I don't have the second bridge troll yet, so it's just like, yeah, I don't know how much money I have. If I can get to 9, that's kind of nice, but I don't know what the money sitch is. And I guess it's not 9 because I don't have that. I don't have 9. I meant 9 as in, so I probably should have trashed an additional copper, but yeah, like nasmith can literally just take all the seers next turn and I'll just never, I mean, I can dominate a couple times, but yeah, there's some rough draws and some bad buys for this one. There's definitely more scope to play this a little cleaner, but well, they can't empty this year, so that's something. I don't know that it's, I don't know that it matters a whole lot, but it's something in my favor, I guess. So I had this is to buy gold a bunch of stuff. They didn't even get more seers, I guess. So it's not like, well, they can get them the next time. Anyway, once I play all my money, assuming I play all my money, I can get there's $10 minus 1 and $9. So I could trash a couple coppers and still go seer, silver. Not the best. Well, I mean, he still has the pace. Like, there's not. He would just have to make some screw up. That I don't. I mean, he'll get the last seer, maybe. I don't know. There's not any, like, huge incentive to. I don't know. I mean, I need to get into dominate range. And so does nasmith, but like, he just will. Like if I go silver, silver, gold on my turn, then I'll be in dominate range. Then the other thing is to be in tab 18. That's the other thing. So that when it gets down to when the provinces get low, you can do triple province. But you can basically get there off silvers, off picking up silvers. How much money did I have here? $8. So I have $10 now. I think I can blow up one of these. It's not too bad. I forgot I could play that now. You need to have like enough, like 20 is also kind of nice so that you can control the parity of the provinces. Not really the parity, because it's more than just the single buy, but I guess the price points are like 14, then 18, 20. I guess 26 is kind of a price point to like not. Maybe you don't have time to get up to that. I'm sure nasmith will just play this totally cleanly enough that. So I was at 9 and I added 7, 8. So I'm at 17 now. I can go down to 16 until I has 2 silver and still be at 20. Maybe worthwhile. Oh, I did that wrong. I could have top deck a seer. Okay. Apparently I'm just gonna draw them all in hand. Yeah, it's like nasmith can. I don't know, can nasmith dominate province this turn? Because then I'm just checkmated. If nasmith has 20 now, then I'm just. I don't know exactly what their money. I haven't been. Okay, they have 20, so it's not like. Maybe double province. No, they can't even. Well, they didn't double province. But I don't know if you take a harem. I mean, harem does get you to 20, which is pretty good. But maybe the points make you need something else. I don't know. Could make it kind of weird. They still get to 20. Of course. So then they have... I can't really trash on these, unfortunately. Because a point there might matter as well. Does dominate... I already have 20. Does dominate province lose for me? Does that lose to 18? I mean, yeah, it sure does. It 100% does. I guess I can try and see if they fail to draw. I'm not sure if I play on if I have a path that gets there, since I didn't trash a card this turn. You can double duchy, which I don't know, might get there. I already have $20, so I'm a little bit. I do have that. I'm getting to $28. It's not a thing. What is NA Smith gonna do on their turn? I mean, they can't just auto. I am first player, so I probably need to take 2 duchies, I think. I don't know. There may be some other consideration, but I'm just not looking for it in this moment, I guess. I mean, if they like dud, then I'm fine anyway. I guess there's a component here of we run out the duchies and then it's like who can take a province. Maybe there's a point where it's safe. Take a province. Like if NA Smith does dominate duchy, does triple province even beat that? I don't know that that even beats that. What is that? 6 plus? That's 21 points. So that just loses. I don't know. Well, yeah, it loses. Well, no, because I can trash a card. That's not free, because I can trash a card. I'd have to trash like a secret passage or the den. The den would be ideal, but I guess I can trash money too, because I would only need $18 instead of $20. So I could trash a silver or a copper actually. If he goes dominate double duchy. Yeah, that's still playable. I mean, what I'm afraid of is that they can get 3 duchies here and I can't, and then it gets maybe awkward. But 3 duchies isn't a whole lot of points, and so maybe that gives me but it's like enough points. Though again, it just kind of extends the game to a point where we have to worry about draws a little bit. Though I think nasmith has like 2 seers top deck, so I don't know how much you have to worry about draws. Okay, so they go with triple harem, which is interesting because the harems don't get drawn. So this is actually does increase their chance of dudding, though not necessarily by a huge amount. It also gives me a chance to maybe. So what were they? They were at 20 even. So now they're at 26, which, as we discussed earlier, is one of the possibly critical price points. That would allow dominate double province if they draw. Wait. Yeah. Dominate double province if they draw. So the only thing to check is if I can beat it with triple province, I guess. It may be some amount of rat catching. Triple province gets us 53. Okay, so that already loses to a dominate. So it's, or that gets us a 63, but that already loses to a dominate. So that's not gonna work. Okay. And if they get that after their turn, they're gonna have 27 more points, which is a lot. So I just won't be in range if they draw it. So now we have to hope that the harems leads to a dud. Like that's the only thing. Which isn't super likely, but that's our out at this point. Because we can't trash enough 3 buys. Like we go. I mean, there's different ways of them failing to get all their resources, though, and some of those are uniquely good for me and bad. Because if I go dominate province now, then then they have to hit dominate province, whatever. I think, like, just provinces wouldn't cut it. Which is a little more money than the triple. I don't think there's really a trash that makes much sense for me now. It was an okay seer. Well, really, quite a good seer. I mean, am I just taking like a dominate plus a den? What is dominate plus province? That doesn't lose to just a regular double province, does it? 51. No, it doesn't even lose to like a regular. Or double province. It didn't. That's only 15 points. That outscores that. That's more money, but doesn't require hitting the bridge troll. Well, the bridge troll is already worth like $1. So I think we go dominate province here, or try to. Which means we have to draw everything. I don't know how many seers do I have. I just have 4, so this is all the seers. I suppose I can't really save a seer and draw everything I need. I'm not 100% sure this is the play. I have to do one of these. And then just kind of hope they draw badly. Think they're probably getting there. Yep. I mean, if they draw deck, they can win on anything, so that's not. I think what I did is right. There's that other option that I discussed, but that was also a cool board. Just again because of the limited villages. It was a lot of, I mean, it was like we have had 2 boards now where it was like price reduction bridge troll stuff, and if there had been a regular village, we wouldn't have. And maybe it wasn't such an interesting play out on this board, but actually it really was. I mean, it was quite neat. So the lack of the village, we were still building. We still had multiple gains, but we didn't have infinite gains. We didn't have everything cost 0, and it I think made the games quite a bit more interesting than they would have been with a village. At least it made them longer now. Whether that makes them more interesting. Some might disagree or have differing opinions on. That was I would not be surprised at all if somebody said, you know, if you buy this on this turn instead of what you did, you give yourself a beyond the early game where I think there was definitely some maybe some questionable ordering between the bridge trolls and the dens. That stuff's not clear to me though. I mean, I'm not sure that the particular order we did or I did was bad, that maybe it just didn't roll out in my favor. Silvers versus rat catchers at the beginning is a little questionable. I honestly just completely forgot familiar was on the board about halfway through maybe after thinking about it in the opening. So it's not clear to me that you do a familiar skip there, because the familiar the curses are really terrible for the seer deck, and the rat catchers are not like the best at trashing them, but the familiar does cost you some tempo. So I honestly just completely forgot it existed after the initial part though. This one is definitely just waiting for someone to be sad about their draws. Hopefully it's nasmith. I guess every Dominion game is that. There's not really many exceptions to that, or any exceptions to that. I don't know. Maybe you go archive Peasant on the 5-2. I was trying to think if the 5-2 offers a really big difference or not, but I think you probably do an archive. I mean, the pseudo trashing there could accelerate, and just the searching forward could accelerate the Peasant line quite a lot if you draw the archive early a couple times. So that does look potentially very, very nice. I think I do Magpie. I'm not sure. Engineer does not seem bad at all, though I'm not totally clear on when you take it. I guess I'm gonna take it now. So Naismith has a second Peasant already. I think it's pretty clear that like multiple disciples is gonna do a lot for you here. Whether that means getting this Peasant. I mean, I guess if you have $2, like, yeah, for sure you buy it. Like that doesn't seem controversial to me to say, oh, I'll just take a. You might take a Ghost Town to have this shuffle trigger. But another archive looks totally fine too. This is one of those where it might have been nice to get the what am I trying to say? It might have been nice to not have the engineer in deck already and go a different route, but we're gonna not buy Ghost Town, then we're gonna get Collision. Hopefully not. We're just gonna, I guess we can buy the Ghost Town now. I am kind of not seeing stuff at the top of shuffles really well. Like here we just don't see any magpies till bottom 4, which is pretty killer here. Hopefully we draw one and get something off of it. What that'll be exactly, I don't know. Yeah, like this is rough. I mean, 2 out of bottom 3 magpie is like, what do you even do? You're just like stuck, I guess. I was like gonna say I could trash it and get another ghost tab, but then why do I care? So then if I trash it, I don't have to. And I could just trash it for experiments. I suppose. I don't know, does like a Haunted Woods do stuff for you here? Not clear to me. The hope here, of course, is that we can pick up an engineer and not be too... This is not a great draw for any Smith. I mean, whatever happened there was not super nice for him. This is actually pretty good reveal for me if I can find anything that's worth playing. We don't find the fugitive, which of course sucks, but doesn't like find fugitive and to get to Ghost Town would have been, that would have made us do something, and I would have felt something, you know, in my soul if that had happened. But it did not, as I guess you all saw. These are kind of hard buys. Well, I guess they're not so bad. It's just there's quite a few like reasonable looking things to get. I think the thinness from the archives for N.A. Smith is gonna, in the end, do a bit of a number on me. Now, if we had gotten to a point here where there is definitely like some kind of window where, like, if we played the fugitive last time and we had the disciple in this shuffle already, that would look a little different. Haunted Woods may be okay. The only nice thing I have going is that right now I'm the one with some of these gains. I say the only nice thing. It's not the only nice thing, but a nice thing going for me. This is gonna hurt though. Yeah, the triple Magpie gain there is not doing me a lot of favors. Not that the Magpies are like... And then, I mean, that was just gonna happen because they had the... Yeah, unfortunately, this is just... I can't buy anything this turn either. I probably should have taken the estate the last turn when they didn't have the Haunted Woods. Honestly, if I had been... I mean, I don't know exactly what I'm going to draw. There was a world where I draw the Peasant, right, and then I have money, and I can probably use both the buys. But we didn't find ourselves in that world. But there was definitely, you know, a world where that happened. So I'm like almost, I mean, here I'm almost at a point where I cannot make a buy this turn, which is okay. This hurts, but it's like I don't think I can handle top decking 3 estates there, unfortunately. Yeah, and unfortunately we don't have any like experiments or anything in here for the disciples to hit. There's not actually even like a really good disciple target in deck. Like nothing to gain at this point. I guess I could have tried it with the maybe I shouldn't have passed on the buy with the Fugitive and the Haunted Woods down. Maybe it would have been okay. But I mean, I had $4 in a buy, so I was passing up on like Experiment Engineer probably. I could have been, well, and also playing the Ghost Town, so passing up on a little bit more. Not my best. I don't know. Just kind of the timing of it was awkward. I still feel okay-ish. I don't know. It's not like they have a bunch of crazy build-up about to happen. They really need an engineer. I mean, this has just got to be an engineer buy, right? Like, isn't it just trivially engineer? I don't actually see how it can be anything else. But. Barely it's werewolf. I don't really have. Like I said, there's not anything in there great. Well, it drew one. I don't know why I'm whining. That's literally just as much as I can pretty much expect. This one won't draw. Yeah, this is awful. Because there's an archive in there, right? And that's what I need to find was the archive. Amongst some other stuff. Pretty sad. I still don't really understand what Nasmith is doing. I don't even know when they got... Oh yeah, they got the second peasant really early. I think I'm brain broke now. I still kind of... Yeah, I mean, if you already have a peasant, you don't have to get a... You don't have to get a thingy. Oh, who's he, what's it, whatever it is. An engineer. Engineer still seems okay. I think if I see an estate, I'll go ahead and play the archive. Okay, well, I mean, can't really complain about that. That's about as good as it's gonna get. Truthfully. This is just gonna draw... This is like... There's like one copper, one estate, another disciple. I think there's a magpie in there. Maybe not. I don't even know if I got 4 magpies. There might not be a single... I may just draw a hand of coppers, estates, and disciples. Is maybe where we are. Which, you know, what can you do? If there's a magpie, then there's like some kind of off chance we get somewhere, but if there isn't, then I don't think. I guess they don't really need villages, so they probably take... I don't know, they could take experiment, or I mean, they could take flag bearer. I'm going to draw... I'm going to have just estates and coppers and disciple off the Haunted Woods hand, and I'm going to actually cry. Okay, I don't have to cry. I mean, I may just cry just, you know, for the catharsis, but... Well... I don't think disciple means anything for me here. I don't think there's a world where I run out of actions. Okay, well, we really needed to find a experiment, which we did not succeed at doing. Super great. Super happy. Fun times. I don't even think that what they did was good. I mean, maybe I'm full of it. I mean, I could be full of it. But it doesn't seem that quick. Like, what turn are we on? It feels like we're spinning. Yeah, it's 13. We're not even attacking much. It sure feels like we're spinning. Oh no. I've been plaqued. Like $20 one buy, and this is like when this was no gains. Like, what are we doing? I mean, in a couple turns they'll have a thing, but it's still some ways away. I don't know. I could have taken flag bearer, I guess, last turn. I mean, if I know that this was what their hand was going to look like, I probably would have taken flag bearer. But it's like, what do we do here? Just see if we have a we draw the estates. We draw, this is, well, one was in there, but literally the top two cards on the shuffle were two estates. Like, what are we, this is just, I don't deserve this. I deserve many things, but I don't deserve this. Like, how many more experiments did I have? I don't know. Those were just, I don't know what you do there. I'm sure I did stupid stuff. I mean, I'm positive I was doing some stupid stuff, but I don't know what you do against some of that bottom decking. This is, I guess you can do contraband some. I mean, what do you do here? Like silver city gate or just double silver? Silver city gate isn't like, I mean, you could also do silver cellars. I mean, if you have 5, you probably just demand a settlers. Well, I mean, if you have 5, you just buy sentry. What am I even talking about? Anyway. I mean, what you want here is to be thin and have some highways, and then you get a contraband because they can't stop demand, but it lets you, I mean, there's still like decent stuff, and even if you end up with platinums or whatever, that's fine too. There's enough like reasonable buys coupled to demand that they can't take away at all that makes contraband pretty good here. I guess you can, I don't know, you can start with the city gate, but what does that do for you? We already know we're gonna fail to, I guess you can't miss. Maybe you can. I think you can miss the 5. I think there are some ways to miss 5 on the city gate. No, because you get to put the, I don't think there is a way. With only 11 cards, I don't think there's a way. So that's something, I guess. I guess there are some worlds where you get to top deck a silver while doing it, but like, who cares? I don't really like the lighthouse much. I don't know what it does for you. Probably want a couple centuries before you're in on the... Again, let's just not talk about where my cards appear in my shuffle, because if I think about it too much, I'm going to lose my mind. It's not obvious you do 2 centuries versus switch to a highway. It's not obvious to me, maybe. It's obvious to some other people. I don't love the lighthouse still. I don't really know. There's some nice settler synergy anyway with Sentry. And I guess when we go real low, we can unlock the swashbuckler bustling thing, but I'm not sure that that really matters. Is it like a rogue consideration? I'm afraid I don't get it. Oh, guess what? Oh, guess what? I didn't draw anything. Just absolutely didn't draw anything. Pretty mad. Pretty really mad. I mean, I guess you worry. Do you have to worry about rogue that much? I don't know. Sellers now. This seller's may be a mistake because it may just be Sentry not hitting anything kind of shuffle. Should I try to hit 5? What are my odds? I mean, they're pretty good. How nice is hitting 5 here? I don't know. I probably shouldn't complain too much. I mean, Smith hasn't really acquired a lot of 5s or anything yet. This is nothing. Draw again, unfortunately. They buy a rogue, I'll take a lighthouse. They buy 2 lighthouses. Why do I think they have 2 lighthouses? We should try to hit the silver. Guess this doesn't matter hugely. I guess I could have bought a rogue. Okay, we're all right here. Wait, if we find the contraband, do we... I guess we don't have to... Okay. I think... I was whining about my dross, but his must have been worse. Because... I don't know. We didn't... I'm glad he did that. I would have just forgotten. I would have just 100% forgotten. This will be... this will be a board, I guess. I don't know. So what do you do? Like a secret cave hound? Something along those lines? I mean, you want to figure out a way to get... I'm gonna figure out some way to get to 7 and activate. Activation shouldn't be too terrible. Though of course it could always happen way earlier for one person than another person. Hitting 7 will be a little bit annoying. I mean, there are a few different things that could work out in your favor to have it happen. You basically need like 2 good things to collide. I don't mean like literally like draw them in hand together, but I mean to like the sequencing happens so that you, I don't know, you have a Faithful Hound play after you've gotten the +3 from Secret Cave, or you have a, you know, something like that. Or like a Secret Cave plus a Settler's activation. The other thing is just, of course, getting getting lamp activation, then maybe just getting a gold, you know, like that could certainly be a thing. I guess you'll take band. I don't know why you wouldn't. I don't know exactly the best way to go about it all, though. I'm not sure here if I take a guide or a settlers. Well, we didn't find cave. Unfortunately. Guess we better turn the autoplay for arena off just now before we come to a point where we need to do it and then we're wanting to undo a reshuffle. Because you can just keep hounds from hand to hand until they're playable for you. Guide may have been wrong relative to like silver settlers. I don't know. This is remarkably close to activation. If we find Necro, we activate. Storyteller is a little bit annoying for activation. I guess copper doesn't count too badly against you. This is... Now the problem is that I don't... We can try to hit 7, I guess. That can be the goal rather than activation. I mean, unless the Necro's on top. I guess there's not a huge incentive to... Well, we get the copper back anyway, so we can do this. I didn't have Necro. We didn't find Guide either. Now, finding Guide, then we would have been in... Then we would have been in business, but... This is still pretty good. There's still actually, like... activation worlds. And it's, you know, a really good chance of expanding. I mean, I guess expand is basically guaranteed. Probably nasmith gets to 1, 2, 3. Yeah, probably nasmith gets there this turn. He only needs, I mean, unless he doesn't find the lamp at all, of course. I guess right now he's thinking, what are the odds of just making it off terminal Faithful Hound versus the odds of like cantripping settlers into maybe you find another settlers and a lamp. Like if his top 2 cards are I guess he doesn't have a settler, so I don't know why I'm thinking about that. Maybe he doesn't have any other cantrips, so it's like strictly worse for activation to do it that way, but maybe he was pretty sure he wasn't going to activate. If you don't have the silver or the lamp in hand. You can see that being a thing. Now this is a little awkward, right? Do we trigger? I mean, we probably want to trigger just because we want to get an expand and we want to, not... We can just get everything, though. We can just get everything. So now we need Fortress. nasmith will activate here and probably still have enough money to do an expand as well. I guess their advantage there is their shuffle is clean. Don't they still have 5 coppers in hand? And the 2... Oh, they get to draw them. Well, that's awful. That's terrible. I mean, you don't build so much from playing the wishes, actually. It's actually not terrible. I mean, it's not good, but it's not like gain and play here because you have to have an expand first. They probably get one. I mean, you can also just save the wishes. You don't have to play them now. There's actually not a real good reason to play them now unless you really want to get a guide down or get a secret cave play. Otherwise, there's no... You can just turn the wish into what you need when you need it. You get the gold so you can afford expand, but other than that, there's not... It's not really big incentives there. I mean, unless I'm missing something, I can't think of anything. Yeah. So they get a ban to play cave, but other than that, I'm not sure there was. I guess you could get a hound and have it arena'd. That's like... That's a possibility. It was a bit unfortunate we had the... Pardon me. We had the silver in there. It would have been nice to do storyteller silver. Well, and of course, if we had drawn the silver in that hand, then we wouldn't have had to call just to save guide. I got to think a little bit about the see what's in here because there's a few different things that can happen. I mean, wishing to fortress in and of itself is not crazy. Just to get a little more info. And like fortress, like the fortress ban thing is interesting because it's not like strictly... Okay. It's probably better to get a buy. There's also the obelisk, of course, too. Even beyond the obelisk, there's aspects of it that make it potentially nicer. I don't know why I played that other than, you know, love of the game. These are not like, those games were not super clear to me. This is a pretty good opening hand for nasmith. So we are both, they still have a wish. So they're gonna wish for a fortress. And then they're gonna be able to expand the fortress into an expand. And then probably draw the expand. I mean, there may be some other things going on here too, but like draw the second expand OE into fortress, etc. I don't know what else you'll get out of it exactly, but right, so they have another ban so they can even do that, which is nice. Yeah, unfortunately they have the 5s. I don't really know what gains I was even getting while they were getting these other things. Yeah, while they were getting 5s. I mean, okay, they got to open with a 5. That was part of it. Yeah, they're not doing OE yet because they can't draw it, so they're just doing hobble, and they're not getting anything out of the OE trash, I guess is what I mean. And they're not gonna like do more gain and play, I think, this turn. Maybe they are, but yeah, like where are they getting 5s? So many 5s relative to my not 5s. Like they have 4 5s. I have 1. That's kind of wild, actually. I mean, the opening was one. The opening hurts already. I guess it's partly on the silver buy, really. And I suppose just drawing the $5 hands. Though, I mean, yeah, it's like the flexibility of the band is netting them one here on turn 4. Whereas I'm stuck on. I also missed my secret cave. We're pretty much lost, unfortunately. Maybe if we find storyteller, but yeah, like this is more or less unplayable, which is unfortunate, but probably true. I don't know if Sellers is the card to get there, some other thing. But I mean, this even could still just draw into another copper, right? For me, the guide. They got Storyteller double silver, which is not gonna work for me. I don't know. I feel okay about what I did here. Maybe if someone who's maybe I missed something big, someone could let me know, but feels a bit rough on the sequencing of putting storytellers with silvers. I don't know. But this won't. He's gonna have too many of the obelisk points and way more gains than me. Way more gains and draws. And I mean, they don't have a guide yet, but they probably have the leeway to take the guide, and then the consistency will be basically set. I mean, not fully. It's kind of a weird deck composition, but the consistency will be like high enough that the difference here isn't gonna make it playable for me. And this again, yeah, like I don't know what to say about this season. It's been frustrating, and I know I've messed up in games like several times, but the decks have felt okay, and it just hasn't been working out. Hopefully, I don't know. I'm not sure about League anymore, but gonna be in B next season. But thank you all for watching. And I hope you enjoyed it. I will catch you all later.